Hi everyone. So this is all new to me, so please bear with me. I've never even spoken to a camera before, so this might go horribly wrong. But the reason I'm doing this video, and I know there's so many makeup tutorials out there, but every time I look at them, it's these really stunning girls, and yeah, the makeup is absolutely amazing, but who has time for that really? So I am a mummy, hence my channel is called Makeup by Mummy. And I wanted to show all of you, even if you don't have kids and you just don't have time in the morning, that you can do your makeup, you can do it well, and you can do it quickly. Plus, I'm going to show you some alternatives that I've been using that are cheaper, that I still think are fantastic. Because hey, you know, it's not all about money on makeup, there's other things to pay for now for me, so I've learnt that the hard way. I used to be a makeup artist, I used to work for Estee Lauder company, so I worked for Bobbi Brown and Clinique, and I loved it, but all my money would go on makeup. Well, that can't happen anymore, so this is what I've learnt along the way. So let's get started. I'm going to just do a quick makeup tutorial for you, just a routine that I would do in the morning before I go to work. So the first thing I'm going to use is foundation stick. If you want it to be quick and easy, foundation sticks are great for that. They also give a really good coverage as well. So you've got the Makeup Revolution one, and I'm going for F6. Now, do you know what? This is £5. This is £5, okay? And the most, you know, the normal foundations that you get on the counters can be £39, £40, £5. Brilliant. So, I'm just going to pop this one on. Do you know what? I only put a little bit on the forehead because, to be honest, I have a fringe. So, you know, if you can't see it, don't worry about it. So, let's get this blended in. Now, I'm going to use a Zoeva brush for this one. Yes, they're expensive brushes, but they are so beautiful. And I'm going to use the 102, and it's their Silk Finish brush. I'm just going to use this one to blend it in. Now, what I will say is that I use sponges as well, but I find it quicker to use a brush, especially if I'm in a rush. And very often I am in the mornings now. Also, just to let you know, I am currently using my phone and it's propped up on makeup brushes at the moment. I don't have a really special ring light, I've just got a spotlight, so I thought I'll give that a go. And I don't have a fancy camera either, so you know, just bear with me, roll with it, you've all got to start somewhere. Okay, so the bits that I want more coverage on, I will stipple my brush. And if you want to add more coverage on as well, just pop the foundation stick where you need it and just stipple it on. And that way it kind of stops those sort of streaky marks that you can get. So now what I'm going to use is concealer. So I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution concealer. Again, Makeup Revolution, can't bang on about it enough. And I'm going to use it in C3. This one I'm just going to pop under the eyes. Again, I think this one was £4. And you know what, once I've started using it, I've just carried on using it. And so for this one, what brush shall I use this time? Let's use a Zoeva brush again, and it's called 142 Concealer Buffer. That sounds about right. So I'm just going to buff this one in. I just find brushes easier to get into those corners. I always used to teach people never to put foundation on the lid, but to be honest, I do that now. I do, I'll admit it. You've noticed I'm pulling the face, haven't you? Yeah. You know when you put mascara on and you always pull that face? That's me. I always do that. Okay. Right, so I believe that's all blended in. And you know what? It's great coverage and it's really dewy as well. Can you see? Now I am going to powder it up a bit because I am a bit more on the oily side. So what I'm going to use for this one is the MAC Pep and Prime Transparent Finishing Powder. I do love this because I like powder that you can't see and that just goes on really smooth. Now I know you probably all do the same. I tap it onto my carpet and then I just pat it on. So So then, can you see you've got the sort of dewiness, and then it's a bit more on the matte, but it gives it that really smoothing finish. And let's not forget on the forehead as well. Okay. Now a little tip I have for you, if you want to not spend loads of time on your makeup in the morning, is actually use the same product for two things. So the lid has come off this, I do apologise, but again, Makeup Revolution, I think it was £6, and I really like it, and I've been using it actually to give me that nice sort of contoured look, but with a bronzer that isn't too harsh, so it's sort of an everyday. It's called the Bronze Shimmer Highlight. That's all it's called. I was thinking it would have more to it than that. Okay, so and the brush I use for this one is the Duo Fibre Face Brush by Real Techniques. I'm not saying this is the one that goes with it, but I find that it really works for me. So I just swipe my brush across all the three colours, tap it in my hand, and just go underneath the cheek. The reason I like this Dual Fibre brush though is because it doesn't give a stripe of colour. It sort of blends it in smoother. You see, this gives me that nice bit of contour. So again, gives me that lovely bit there. Now, instead of having to do all this baking stuff, I just get my foundation brush that's got excess foundation on and just pop it underneath. Now, I am all for a bit of highlight, so now I did spend money on this one, I admit, but it is beautiful. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amazing highlight. I could have pronounced that wrong, but I absolutely, just look at it. It's so pretty. Okay, so let's pop this one on then. Where is it? The brush I'm going to use for this one. I'm going to go Real Techniques for this one, and this one is the Contour brush. And it just gives the most beautiful, can you see that? Beautiful glow. I love it. You see? Yeah, look at that. It's so pretty. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is put some blusher on. Now I'm using Bobbi Brown for this one. I'm using the Santa Barbara Illuminating Bronzing Powder. Now it's meant to be bronzer. I personally see that more as a blush, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous and it is more on the natural side. So I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown blush brush for this one, and I'm going to smile and just pop it on the apples of the cheeks. Just gives that lovely pink glow. As I said, use products over again if you want to. So for example, I'm going to use my bronzer on my lids to give a bit of definition. Nothing too hard, just something really simple. So I'm going to use the Real Techniques brush again. These aren't that expensive, and this is a Duo Fibre eye brush. So I'm going to just pop it in this sort of middle shade here, okay, and then I'm going to get it and just pop it in my crease. That way, because I've got quite hooded eyes, if I pop it in the crease, it gives me that illusion of a hood. You see? And I'll do the other side. So that way it gives me that nice illusion of a bit of a lid on the eye, because apparently I don't have one. So what I'm going to do now is just pop some mascara on. I think that's simple enough. And the mascara I'm going to use is the Clinique Chubby Lash for this one. Oops, see, I said it was all over. Okay, so what you want to do, now ignore my face. Everyone pulls a face when they put mascara on, let's face it. Now what I'm going to do is get a powder brush and just go underneath the eyes where that concealer was, because I don't know about you guys, but mine tends to crease, so I do like to powder there. Brows. Now on to brows. Please ignore me, that's my Reggie. It's my little puppy I've got behind me here. He's observing, letting me know how well I'm doing. Hey Papa. Okay, so last thing I'm going to do is my brows. Do you know what? I haven't got all the time in the world to do my brows, so I love this palette. So this is the Bobbi Brown Sparkle All Night palette. Got it as a Christmas present. Admittedly, I didn't buy this. And it's double-sided, so you have your blush, your bronze, your highlight, and then you've got your eyeshadows here. Amazing for travelling, but I also use one of the powders for brow as well. And I just tap it off. I use a really hoarse brush so I can use powder for my brow rather than doing all this wax on the brow and all of that jazz. And then I just pop it on. And it just gives me that little bit of definition. I personally think using powder on the brow also is a bit more natural. And I mainly put it just at the front. Don't put a lot. I might that side. See? Now, of course, one last thing that we must not forget, something on the lips. Now, to be honest, when I'm going to work, I forget to put lipstick on half the time. But I do love a bit of gloss. And I'm going to use a really natural gloss. This is Bobbi Brown gloss in Nectar. And I'm just going to pop it on to go on there. That way I don't have to worry too much about all the penciling. I can just whack it on, pop it in my pocket and top it up when I need to. So, there we go. It's quite a simple look, as you can see, but it didn't take up all the time in the world. Once you get the hang of it, it'll be quicker, and I just hope this has helped. And if you want any more tutorials on anything else or how to do anything else, I can do more complicated makeup than this, but I just wanted to keep it simple for my first one. Just please ask, let me know, and I'm feel free to show you. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.